Hello and welcome to Top Plays. I am your host Blue from KantoCast, and this is the series where we take a look at some of the best plays from the weekly matches during Season 5 of the GBA. Here we are at Week 9, and what a week it was. There were some matches that were absolute nail-biters, and others that went by in the blink of an eye. And those are the matches we're going to look at right now. Now obviously the plays are ranked in an order, but as always, the GBA coaches are very skilled individuals, otherwise they probably wouldn't really be in the GBA. So, although there is a numbered list, they're all top plays, and the list itself is not always comprehensive. Now then, let's look at some of the best action from Week 9. At number 5 this week, we're looking at a highlight from the Donphan Rampardos match. Landorus is scary, and once again, the Donphans show us why. Landorus first makes its appearance by taking out its check, Uxie. Although getting super effective damage off onto Mega Aggron was tempting, the Donphan knew knockoff would 2-hit KO Uxie, and that's exactly what Landorus does. With HP on the Rampardos side dwindling on each member, the Donphan knew it would almost be time to unleash Landorus. A few turns later, Landorus sets up a rock polish and goes to town. In true Donphan fashion, they wore down the Rampardos little by little, until Landorus could come in and clean up. Landorus would get 5 KOs with the 6th only going down to rocks, and the Donphan would take home a 3-0 win for the week. The number 4 play this week comes from the Giantes Piratas match, and in a game that was back and forth, it was difficult to pinpoint where the match divided and a winner would begin to emerge. But ultimately, it all came down to speed. When Ditto transformed into Thundurus, it would outspeed everything on the Piratas side. With the Piratas needing to keep Kyurem's Scarf, the Giantes lock Ditto, which I will thusly refer to as Thunditto, into knockoff. And although the knockoff would not KO Kyurem, it cleared the way for Mega Pinsir to come in and finish up the game. In what I found to be a nail-biter, the Giantes went on to win the match 3-0, largely in part to Thunditto. And at the number 3 spot this week, we have another sweep session. This highlight comes to us from the Morel Seekings game, and it was a whirlwind. With Clefable gone, one of the potential checks to Mega Altaria, it was free to come in and set up. After a few Roost gets it into position, Mega Altaria begins setting up against Porygon 2. Although Porygon 2 would attempt to slow it down with Thunder Wave, Mega Altaria came prepared with Heal Bell. Eventually, Mega Altaria cleared Porygon 2, and with 2 Dragon Dances set up, it was primed to clear the game with a 5-Mon sweep. The Morel would go on to win the match 5-0. In what was possibly the best match of the week, our number 2 top play comes to us from the Mankey's Pelipper's game, and it was a roller coaster of emotions. One player was up, then the other took control. It was, in a word, intense. There were predictions, over-predictions, crits, even some Taylor Swift references if you watch the Mankey's side. But what really put the pressure on during this match was Mega Venusaur. At one point, the Pelippers predicted Mega V to switch into Sharpedo to take a Psyshock, but Mega V stays in and goes for Swords Dance, while Reuniclus goes for an Energy Ball. Mega Venusaur continues to set up while taking a Psyshock from Reuniclus the very next turn. Now the Pelippers are staring down a twice Swords Danced Mega Venusaur, and they switch out into Scizor to take the hit. After taking the incoming knockoff, Mega Venusaur then goes for an Earthquake and just barely misses the knockout onto Mega Scizor after it Mega Evolves. With Mega Scizor now incredibly low, a huge threat on the Pelipper's side was nearly completely neutralized, but Mega V's HP was too low to take on Raikou. Knowing it needed to be preserved, the Mankeys switch out, but Mega Venusaur would come back again later. This is where we see a vaguely familiar play from some weeks ago. Knowing Jirachi was the least essential Pokemon on the team, the Mankeys decided it was time for Mega V to come in and tear things up again. Healing Wish Jirachi makes an appearance and Mega Venusaur was back for more. Mega V goes for another Swords Dance as Reuniclus comes back in. But this time it's one and done, and Venusaur starts going for knockoffs. After clearing Reuniclus, the epic back and forth between Raikou and Mega Venusaur begins. There were substitutes, crits, syntheses, everything you need for an entertaining exchange. Eventually, Mega Venusaur wins the face-off with Raikou, but it would go down to Hydreigon's Draco Meteor. Though the Pelipper's would go on to win an incredibly close 1-0, the Mankey's plays with Mega Venusaur primed them to put on an incredible show. So, do you guys remember a while back, during a game of Twitch Plays Pokemon, where ATV, a level 36 Venomoth, beat a level 62 Dragonite? This week's top play is a lot like that, in the sense that Venomoth is God. Okay, maybe not God, but still very impressive. This number 1 top play comes to us from the Hawlucha Steel Wings match, and if you didn't see it, Venomoth takes out its broom and goes to town. After clearing Mega Charizard X with Garchomp, and verifying that Crocodile wasn't scarfed, the Hawluchas seized the opportunity to go out into Venomoth. Although Venomoth may have attracted some criticism during its addition to the Hawluchas roster, here is where it proves its worth. While putting any potential risk to sleep, Venomoth is able to set up 2 Quiver Dances. At that point, nothing on the Steel Wings team could live a Sludge Bomb, and Venomoth was free to wreak havoc. Venomoth cleaned up a 5-Mon sweep to bring the Hawluchas a 6-0 win for the week. And as the top plays for Week 9 come to a close, it's time to crown the reigning top play once more. Last week, a new challenger approached to try and dismantle the everlasting dominance that Caliente held over the season. I mean, seriously, this thing was so comfortable at the top play spot, it built itself a house and started living there. However, gift-giving Scizor knocked on Caliente's door and brought it a housewarming gift. A gift in the form of an eviction notice. That's right, over 400 of you voted, and as of this recording, well over 70% of you wanted gift-giving Scizor to show Caliente the door. But now, will Scizor be setting up house at the reigning top place spot? Or will its stay be cut short by DDV, Double Dance Venomoth? You decide by casting your vote via the straw poll link in the description. And while you're down there, feel free to stop by the comments section where you can let us know what your top plays of Week 9 were. But that's going to wrap up this week's top plays. I am KantoCastBlue, and I will catch you next week with more top plays from Season 5 of the GBA.